When I hate the stage, it's never theory, it's blood, it's sweat, and it's real world lessons forged in the trenches. I don't tell stories to impress people. I tell them to impact people because life doesn't happen in PowerPoints. It happens in the mud, the messes, and the middle of the real leadership. Hey guys, Dan Greer with Forge coming at you today for your 5-minute power up. Today, we're chatting all about what happens when I get on stage. Thanks for the quick drink of coffee, guys. All right. Too many speakers or trainers teach from the clouds. They teach theory, they teach fluff, they use buzzwords, right? They don't actually speak real world in the trenches because they don't know. They've never been there, right? We've all heard that teachers teach because they can't do, right? We've heard that to an extent. Those who can't do teach. Whatever. I've heard it 1,000 times, especially as a trainer. They're like, oh, but you can't drive a truck. Oh, freaking watch me. I'll parallel park that truck better than you ever could, dude. I got no issues with that, right? I don't teach from scripts. I teach from scars. I teach from real world lessons. And that's the way you should train as a leader as well. You should be training from those real world lessons. You should be training from what's actually going on in your life, what you actually learn. Everything I share has always been tested on the job site, in the shop, in the office, and maybe even possibly in my actual personal life. People relate to me because they see themselves in the stories I tell, in the long nights, in the setbacks, and the breakthroughs. Your stories are your strength. You don't need a platform to teach. You just need authenticity and action. If I could talk, it would help, right? I know, it's going to be a long 5 minutes. Okay. Think about this. There was this one time that I was on stage and I remember because I was thinking about this and I was doing this and I thought, man, this is a big group of people. There's like 500 people in the room. And I was like, I really need to impress them. And so I fabricated something. I embellished the truth, right? I didn't tell the whole truth because I embellished it. There were a few people in the room at the end of that. They were like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Holy cow. But the majority of the room knew that I was blowing smoke, and I knew that I was blowing smoke. And you know what I learned from that lesson? I learned that as a leader, I cannot fib. I have to tell the truth. I have to be the one who's out there, who's getting real connections, because here's what happened. After that, I was on the next stage with an even bigger room. There's like 800 people in the room, okay? And I told this story that was raw, it was real, and it hit so hard because people could actually relate to it, and they could tell that it was truth. They could tell that it actually happened. And then I realized people don't connect with perfection. They don't connect with embellishment. They don't connect with the biggest, baddest story there is. They connect with real and authentic people. That's what they want. That's what they're after. They want you to be real. So in leadership, you don't need to go in and tell somebody about how perfect you are, right? I literally have this going on right now on a social media channel. There's some old dude who's like, I know everything about DOT. And he's an idiot. Yeah, he knows quite a bit. I'm not saying he doesn't have knowledge. What I'm saying is he's going about it the wrong way because he's telling me how wrong I am when he's clearly he's proven himself wrong like 3 times in the comments, right? He's not a leader. He's trying to be a boss. He's trying to get somebody to realize how smart he is because he's trying to get the validity from that. My job's to educate you idiots, right? No, wrong. If you think that way, you're wrong. You're not a leader. You don't lead idiots, you lead smart people. And if you think you lead idiots, you have to change your mindset in order to get that there. If you've got a story, share it. Somebody needs your scars more than your success. Don't wait for the perfect stage. Start wherever you are right now. And remember, leaders don't lecture. They live the lesson. Now, get out there and lead from the trenches. All right, guys. Later.